Hello, my name is Chilidi, and today I want to tell you a story about how my life changed forever. This story is about fear, loneliness, and the unexpected friendship that helped me become stronger. When I started school, everything felt big and scary, and every day I walked into the building with my heart racing. I didn't know how to talk to other kids, and I was afraid they would laugh at me. I kept quiet, hoping no one would notice me, but deep inside, I wished for a friend. In class, I always sat in the back corner, too shy to raise my hand or answer questions. Whenever the teacher called on me, my voice trembled so much that some students giggled. That made me even more scared to speak again. I felt like I was trapped inside my own fear. At recess, while everyone else played, I stayed alone under a tree, pretending I didn't mind. But the truth was, I felt invisible. Every day after school, I walked home with heavy steps, thinking that maybe something was wrong with me. I wondered why I couldn't be brave like the other kids, who laughed and talked so easily. My mom always told me, "Chilidi, you're special just the way you are," but I didn't believe her. Fear was like a shadow that followed me everywhere. I thought things would never change. One day, while I sat alone during recess, I watched the other children playing tag. I wished I could join them, but I didn't know how. I felt small and out of place. I hugged my backpack tightly and closed my eyes, hoping for a miracle. I didn't know it yet, but that miracle was about to arrive. That afternoon, someone walked toward me with a bright smile. Her name was Sarah, and she didn't look scared of anything. She stood in front of me and said, "Hi, why are you alone?" Her voice was warm, and for the first time, I didn't feel afraid. I didn't answer right away, but something told me my life was about to change. Chapter 2: Meeting Sarah. Sarah sat next to me like we had been friends for years. She didn't judge me. She didn't laugh at me. She just stayed. I felt something inside me calm down. I still didn't speak much, but she talked enough for both of us, telling me funny stories about her cat and how she loved drawing. I listened quietly, surprised that someone wanted to sit with me. The next day, Sarah came to find me again during recess. "Let's play together," she said, grabbing my hand gently. I hesitated, my fear returning for a moment, but her smile made me feel safe. We played a simple game, running around slowly, nothing too crazy. For the first time in a long time, I laughed. It felt strange but wonderful. As days passed, Sarah kept inviting me to do things. She didn't get upset when I said no, and she didn't push me too hard. She understood me in a way no one else ever had. Little by little, I started talking more, sharing small things about myself. She always listened, and that made my confidence grow. In class, she sat beside me and whispered, "You can do it," whenever the teacher asked a question. One day, I finally raised my hand. Not much, just a tiny bit, but it was something. The teacher smiled at me, and Sarah squeezed my arm with excitement. I felt proud, like I had taken a step out of the darkness. That week, I realized something important. I wasn't as alone as I thought. Fear didn't control me the same way anymore. I still felt nervous, but now I had someone who believed in me. And that made all the difference. Chapter 3: Learning to be Brave. Sarah began teaching me small ways to be brave every day. "Just try one new thing," she would say. Sometimes it was raising my hand in class. Sometimes it was joining a small group activity. Each little challenge made me stronger. I started seeing that fear didn't have to win all the time. One day, Sarah convinced me to draw with her during art class. I was terrified because I thought my drawing would look ugly. But she told me, "It doesn't matter how it looks. What matters is that you try." So I picked up a pencil and drew a small house. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine. When the teacher put my drawing on the wall, I almost cried from happiness. During recess, I began standing closer to the other kids. I wasn't ready to join their games yet, but I didn't hide anymore. Sarah stood beside me, encouraging me with her calm presence. Slowly, my world grew bigger. I found myself smiling more often. At home, my mom noticed the change. "You seem brighter lately," she said. I told her about Sarah and how she made me feel safe. My mom hugged me tightly, whispering that good friends are treasures. I didn't understand how true that was until later. As weeks passed, I started believing in myself. My voice grew stronger, my steps lighter. I wasn't the same girl who hid behind her backpack anymore. I was becoming someone braver, someone who wanted to keep growing. Chapter 4: A Test of Friendship. One afternoon, something unexpected happened. A group of kids teased me for being scared of everything, and I felt the old fear rushing back. My hands shook, and I wanted to disappear. But before I could run away, Sarah stepped in front of me. "Leave her alone," she said firmly. Her voice didn't shake at all. The kids laughed and walked away, but I felt terrible. "Why did you defend me?" I asked her later, my eyes full of tears. Sarah looked at me like the answer was obvious. "Because you're my friend," she said. Those words warmed my heart like sunlight. No one had ever said that to me before. But something inside me felt guilty. I didn't want Sarah to get into trouble because of me. I feared she would stop being my friend if I caused too many problems. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking that maybe I didn't deserve someone like her. The next day at school, I avoided her, scared that she might secretly be tired of me. But during lunch, she found me again and asked, "Why are you hiding?" I told her everything, my voice trembling. She listened carefully, then hugged me. "I'm your friend because I want to be," she said. "And I'm not going anywhere." Her words healed my heart. I realized that friendship wasn't something I had to earn by being perfect. It was something shared, something real. Sarah wasn't afraid of my fears. She just wanted me to keep trying, and that was enough. Chapter 5: A New Beginning. As time passed, I began making more friends. Sarah introduced me to her classmates, and they welcomed me kindly. I was still shy, but not frozen with fear anymore. I learned that I could talk, laugh, and participate without feeling like the world would end. A new version of me was growing, stronger, happier, and braver. One day during recess, I looked around the playground and realized I wasn't alone under the tree anymore. I was playing tag with other kids, laughing so hard that my stomach hurt. Sarah ran beside me, smiling proudly. I had become part of something bigger, a world filled with friendship. In class, I raised my hand more often. I even volunteered to read aloud once, something I never thought I'd do. The teacher praised my progress, and I felt a warmth in my chest that I wished I could keep forever. I wasn't invisible anymore. At home, I told my mom everything. She cried happy tears and thanked Sarah for helping me shine. I realized then that courage doesn't mean not being afraid. It means trying even when you are scared. And thanks to Sarah, I learned how to do that. Now, when I look back, I see how far I've come. I'm still me, quiet, thoughtful, sometimes nervous, but I'm no longer trapped by fear. My life changed because one brave, kind girl decided to be my friend. And that made all the difference. My story isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming brave, one small step at a time. Chapter 6: Growing Confidence. As the months passed, I noticed a transformation inside me that felt almost magical. I began waking up excited to go to school, something that had never happened before. Instead of walking with my head down, I lifted my eyes and looked at the world around me. I wasn't fearless, but I wasn't controlled by fear anymore. Every morning, I reminded myself that I had someone who believed in me, someone who saw me as more than the girl who trembled at everything. In class, I found myself participating more often. My voice, once tiny and shaky, now carried a bit more strength each time I spoke. The teacher noticed the change and started giving me more opportunities to share my ideas. At first, this scared me, but then I remembered Sarah's words, "Just try." And every time I tried, I felt a new layer of courage forming around my heart. One day, the teacher announced a small presentation project. My stomach twisted with anxiety, but instead of hiding, I asked Sarah if she wanted to work with me. Her face lit up with excitement, and she immediately said yes. We chose to present about our favorite books, and although my hands still shook when I spoke in front of the class, I felt proud afterward. It was the bravest thing I had ever done. At recess, more kids started inviting me to join their games. I wasn't the most confident or the fastest, but I participated. Some days I fell or felt embarrassed, but no one laughed at me. Sarah would always help me up and cheer me on. The world that once felt like a storm now felt like a gentle breeze, guiding me forward. By the end of that month, I realized something powerful. Bravery wasn't a giant leap. It was a collection of small steps, and I was finally taking them, one by one, at my own pace, but always moving forward. Chapter 7. When Fear Comes Back. Even though I was growing stronger, fear didn't disappear completely. One rainy morning, I woke up feeling nervous and shaky again. My mind kept whispering old doubts. What if they laugh at you? What if you mess up? What if Sarah gets tired of helping you? Those thoughts hit me like a wave I wasn't ready for, and suddenly, I felt like the old Chility again. At school, I tried to hide my anxiety, but Sarah quickly noticed. She sat beside me and asked softly, "Are you okay?" I wanted to smile and say yes, but my voice cracked as I explained how scared I felt. She listened carefully, not interrupting, not judging. When I finished talking, she took my hand and said, "It's okay to feel scared. It doesn't mean you're going backward. It means you're human." Her words soothed my racing thoughts. But the real test came during group work that day. Our teacher asked us to stand and read our answers aloud. My heart pounded so loudly I felt dizzy. When my turn came, fear tried to paralyze me again. I could feel the class watching. I wanted to run, to disappear. But then I saw Sarah's calm, reassuring smile, and it helped me find enough courage to speak, even if my voice trembled. After class, I cried quietly because I felt frustrated with myself. I thought I had already beaten my fear forever. Sarah hugged me tightly and whispered, "Courage isn't something you win once. You have to choose it every day." That idea stuck with me. I realized I didn't have to be perfect. I only had to keep trying. By the end of the day, I felt lighter. Fear had returned, but it didn't win. I learned that courage and fear could exist together, and what mattered was which one I listened to. That day, I chose courage, thanks to a friend who never gave up on me. Chapter 8. The day I helped someone else. One sunny afternoon, something unexpected happened that changed the way I saw myself. During recess, I noticed a younger girl sitting alone under the tree, the same tree I used to hide under. She looked scared, hugging her backpack tightly, just like I once did. For a moment, I froze, remembering my past. Then something inside me pushed me forward. I walked toward her slowly, my heart pounding, not with fear, but with determination. I sat beside her and asked gently, "Are you okay?" She looked up at me with wide eyes and shook her head. I didn't know exactly what to say, so I shared a little bit about myself, how I used to be afraid, how I used to sit in that same spot, and how things got better when someone talked to me. Her expression softened. I invited her to play with Sarah and me. At first, she hesitated, but I remember the way Sarah always encouraged me with patience. So I did the same. After a little while, the girl agreed, and we walked together toward the playground. Sarah immediately smiled and welcomed her like she had done with me so many times. Watching the little girl laugh shyly made something warm bloom in my chest. I realized that I wasn't just becoming brave, I was becoming someone who could help others feel brave too. It was the first time I saw myself as someone strong, someone who could make a difference. That night, as I lay in bed, I felt proud. I wasn't the scared, lonely girl I used to be. I was becoming the kind of friend Sarah had been for me, kind, patient, and brave. And that made me feel stronger than ever.